You're listening to the Joe Kamo Show. Real sports, real talk.
Welcome to the show, Matt Ramage. What's happening, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, appreciate you having on. The first thing when I think of your name, Ramage, I don't know how old you are, but I remember, I think it was Rob Ramage. Does that name ring a bell to you? Do you ever get that? Do you know who Rob Ramage is?
No, I don't.
Very famous.
Actually, my dad's name was Rob Ramage, but I didn't really know him. But yeah, but I don't know a ton of Ramages.
Yeah, Rob Ramage was a famous hockey player. I think he was the team captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Look him up. He was big name in the late 80s, I think early 90s. I think his name is Rob Ramage. I believe that's the name, but as soon as I saw your name, it just kind of rung a bell. So if there's any old people listening to this, like myself, you guys can be, oh, I remember Rob Ramage. He was, and again, you probably never watched Toronto hockey, so I'm sure that's probably not an interest of yours. So yeah, welcome to the show, man. I wanted you to, come on. I don't know how I stumbled across your profile. My goal is here to get celebrities, obviously, retired athletes, current athletes, but also influencers of teams and ambassadors, anybody in the sports industry. As the show continues to get big, I'd like to have you come back on and just get you more exposure, because I like people and I admire people that are out there hustling and building their brands. And I don't know how I came across your profile. I don't know what I was looking at, or it was through somebody. Either way, I look at your profile. It looks good. You're on Instagram. You got the verified check, and you've got that look. You've got this personality. We'll talk about your look, as we get, longer into the show. But I guess I'll leave it up to you to kind of talk and let people know who you are and what you do.
All right. My name's Matt Ramage. I basically, like, how I first started doing the sports thing is just making fun of the Bears, because I'm a diehard Packer fan. So when I very first started doing Instagram, my son was doing the edits, the photo edits
Right.
people do with the players. And then I was just trying to kind of bonding with him. Like, I'll make a meme page. I have no skill, so I'll make a meme page. So I made a meme page on Instagram, and it was just little jokes, river. And then I gained a following, starting to go a little bit. And then it got boring though. So I was like, I'm just going to start doing what I do, like make videos, mess up my eyes, make jokes, talk about the Packers. And then it started to grow and grow and grow. I ended up getting verified and on Facebook too. And then now, dude, but like, I'm just having fun. Like, I'm just a fan. Like, I'm not like trying to be like a reporter. Like on Facebook, right. I give news that I see on Twitter, but mostly I'm just screwing around and messing with the rivalries, the Bears and Vikings, trash talk a lot. And it's just fun.
Yeah, so let's get it out of the way. You mentioned your eyes here. So what exactly happened with your eyes? What kind of condition is that? I guess you're born with a situation where your one eye is, people might say it's lazy eye. Like, what do you call it with your eye?
I think they call it a lazy eye, but like I went to, because my eyes have been like this my whole life. I never went to an eye doctor because I really didn't care. Like I could see all right, but I went to a Shopko doctor, which is kind of like a little Wisconsin Walmart. I don't even know if they're around anymore. Right. But and I had him test my eyes, and he actually said, he told me what it was. He's like, what it is like everyone has two eyes, and they make one vision. My eyes they make two visions, so your brain shuts one off because you can't see two things. And so then one just kind of goes lazy. But he told me, he's like, I can't help you, bro. You need to go to a real eye doctor. But I went in there like just screwing around. It was $30 to get your eyes tested just to see what he would say. And he was like, yeah, I can't help you. But that's basically what it is I was told that if because my right eye is my prominent eye. So if something happened to my right eye, like I got stabbed in the eye or something, my left eye would go back. It would start working again. It's not like broke, it just shut off, I guess. But yeah, that's what I've done. Like I was on Vine when Vine was a thing, and I would make fun of my eyes. I had a decent following there. It was like 20,000, and I would just make jokes about myself because I don't take it serious. Like I know a lot of people in my comments, like they try to get me, like Bears fans. They're like, yeah, you're a cockeyed, this and that. And I just, dude, I love it. like, yo, I make fun of myself. So I know that, they can't hurt me.
Names don't hurt me either. I mean, people make fun of me in certain ways too. I don't have the lazy eye, but they make fun of me in other ways. I'm actually, I get a lot of hate. Let's put it that way, because I'm very open with what I say. So, I mean, you got to read the comments that I get. I mean, I wish you die. You're scum, you're trash. I mean, there's a lot of good people, but it seems like the assholes are a little bit noisier sometimes. I don't know if you notice that too.
Oh yeah, I definitely, because like like I say, I trash the Bears, but I also am like friendly with a lot of Bear fans on Instagram. We go back and forth. It's trash talk, but it's not hateful. Then there's some people that come in hot, like like your mom's this and that. I hope you die. Like the same thing. People message me like horrible things, but like I don't take it serious. But like I'll trash talk, but I don't do it personally. Like I'll talk about your team. I'm not talking about your family. Like people on Facebook try to search out my personal Facebook, get pictures of my family and post it, and they try to make memes and like they're just crazy. Like, but yeah, that's the internet though, man. They go extra on the internet.
Yeah, I was talking to Andy OD. She was on the episode before you, and she's an attractive girl, and she's on Instagram and all the platforms, and she gets a lot of different DMs, man. And it's we're judged by our looks. If she's attractive, she gets hit on, right? If something looks off with us, we get picked on, right? Hit on, picked on, whatever. But with you, I genuinely think, and again, I'm not just trying to be a nice guy. I just speak my mind. One of the main reasons that I brought you on is because of your unique look. I just thought that that's a good branding play. I think it's huge. You have that unique look. It's memorable, and you're using it to your advantage. And personally, I would do the same thing, because I'm an entrepreneur, and I think it's actually a strength, if anything, really.
Oh yeah, and that's what I like. Even like when I was a kid in school, I remember someone told me like one of my uncles told me because everyone like would make fun of me about my eyes, and he was like you're original. He's like turn it on him. He's like because I would make jokes at home about it, but not at school because I was embarrassed in front of everyone at school. And he's like do that at school and turn a weakness into a strength. I mean he didn't say quite those words, but that's basically what I did. And then when I started doing the social media thing, I was like they're gonna attack me anyways, but because of my eyes, if I go on video. So I might as well have fun with it. And really like that's what I've been doing my whole life with my friends. So why not do it on video and take advantage of it?
So what is your story? Are you a Bears ambassador? How did this start? I want to dive into kind of what you're doing too, because again, I find that, and this is me, I like to give my constructive criticism. I just think out loud. I speak my mind. I literally have no filter. So what I think, again, before you get into kind of what you're doing, what your story is, I think that you could be a more of a national brand. I think you can go across and be bigger than you are. I think this is, again, my opinion. You don't have to take it, but I think, just focusing on the Packers is limiting you. So are you just focusing on the Packers? Or are you looking at broadening the brand?
Yeah, I've actually been talking to my brother-in-law about this because I do the podcast thing, he doesn't, but we talk football all the time. I was like, you should come join me. He knows a lot more about like the gambling side of football. He does a lot of those other, those things. We can talk about that. And like I want to talk about other teams because I know about other teams and kind of like broaden a little bit. Like I'm a Packer fan but yeah, you definitely like limit yourself. So I think eventually because I want to grow. I want to do all the fun things. I want to there's so much more to talk about than the Packers but like I would always keep it Packers because that's my team. But yeah, there's definitely ways to broaden it. I totally agree.
I don't want you to put all your hope in me, but one of my secret missions here with building this show is that, 3 years could be 1 year, could be 5 years, could be 10. One way or another, I know with me personally, I will succeed to a level that's unseen of in the sports industry. So, if this can help you, and I want you to come back hopefully again to the show, but hopefully, when I do blow up, we can go back and archive and come back to this conversation and say, I brought in Mr. Ramage. He was on the show. Hopefully you've advanced in your career. We can look back and say, I was on the Joe Kamo podcast when we first started, like episode 7, or I think we're on episode 8 now, which is, it's flying by. It's been really, really exciting. So yeah, my goal is to help brands like yourself continue to grow, get more exposure, because I really want people to succeed. I just think that the mainstream garbage is out there is literally just garbage. And I think that people like you and me, you and I, we're just doing things that it's a little more unique. And I like the uniqueness of you. You're not wearing a suit. You're not wearing a tie. You don't look like an Ivy Leaguer. I don't look like an Ivy Leaguer. I'm just wearing a backwards hat, chilling out, in my studio, just hanging out. And that's what we need more of. And I think that's what hopefully we bring more of if we keep going. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that. Like, are you looking to have a white collar job, or are you comfortable building your own personal brand more?
Yeah, I definitely don't want to have no white collar job because I always yell at everyone because on Facebook I report a little bit of news that I see on Twitter like, hey, this happened to Packers or whatever. But I make it very clear like I am not a reporter. Like I do have no needs or wants to be reporter. I would like if I could have my way, I would just have a podcast. I do live shows on Facebook and YouTube, and just talk football with regular fans. And I've been saying that for a while, like with the media, like people hate like certain people in the media. Like, dude, we don't have to watch these people. Like
No.
anybody can start their show. There's a lot of people who aren't the typical, suit guys. And I mean, there's certain guys, beat writers that we have to get our news from because they're there with the interviews. But like anybody can just talk football. You can listen to so many people. Doesn't matter what team that you're rooting for. If you want to watch people talk about all of them or just certain teams, there's so many people out there that are good. Like yourself with fantasy football thing. Like people don't have to go to these, the elite, whatever. Just go to people who are just talking real, like everyone does at work.
Yeah, I mean, now they can do that, but I mean, 15, 20 years ago, I think we were kind of limited to channel 3 to 10 on our TVs,
Yeah.
I mean, whatever they gave us, we kind of had to feed it. But now we've got so many platforms, we can have voices heard, talent emerging out of this. There's TikTok stars now, which is crazy. So yeah, I'm very grateful to have these type of platforms. Let's talk about the rivalry here. I mean, the Bears, Packers, this year, I think after like 1 or 2 wins, and again, I have no bias. I like the Packers. I like the Bears equally. Like I don't have any, this is not biased. I looked at the Bears and I called them fakers. I don't see anything on that team that's like jumps out at me to say that these guys are a 5-0 team or anything like that. Foles is a guy, he's like the little engine that'll move the ball down the field, get you some points. The defense will probably hold you in some games, but I'm not sold on the Bears at all. I think the Packers have a good shot this year, but it depends on which Aaron Rodgers shows up. So kind of want to talk about the Bears first. Do you think, in your opinion, because obviously you probably live and breathe and follow the Bears because you have a hat on that says Bears still suck. Do you think the Bears are the real deal this year? Or are they pretenders, honestly?
I think that they're the second in the NFC North, but I've been saying that they're pretenders like all season. Even when they had that great record, I said wait till they start playing these legit teams, and the Packers' schedule got softer at the same time as the Bears got harder. So I knew that the Packers were going to make a spread. But yeah, I don't believe that the Bears are legit. Even Bears fans I argue with, they kind of say the same thing. Like, yeah, and like we'll see what happens at the end of season.
Right.
Because I think that there's potential there. But I just don't think with like Nick Foles, I don't think he's the answer. And I actually like Nick Foles like for the Eagles, but I think that if he gets hot, like he can do some stuff. But I just don't I don't see the Bears as a scare for the NFC, not even the NFC North.
I got to ask you, what is Aaron Rodgers' problem? And what I mean by that is I find that some games he shows up and some games he doesn't try. So I started noticing this pattern back in like 2000. I think it was 13 or 12 or 14. I can't remember what year it was. So I just remember I had a parlay. I had like a 9-game parlay and I had every team right. Like I had every spread right. I don't remember who they were playing. I know it was like, I think it was a home or away. I don't even remember, but Aaron Rodgers was playing. I needed them to win. And my ticket, I probably would have won $50,000. Because he lost that game, I lost a huge amount of money. Not even lose it. I could have potentially won a large amount of money. So I found in that particular game, his physiology, and I see him continue to do that some games. His physiology is down. Once he gets behind, he starts slouching. It's like, I don't know, it's like 3rd and like, I don't know, 8, and he runs the ball, or it's like 2nd and 12 and he runs the ball, or not him running it, but he hands it off to a run. He doesn't throw it, and his physiology is down, and it looks like somebody pissed in his cornflakes. Like, what is the deal with Aaron Rodgers? Do you find that he's a momentum quarterback? Like, or am I just talking on the master? Do you find this kind of trend with him in certain games as well, where he kind of slouches and gives up?
I think like when McCarthy was there, like towards the end, there was definitely some, like, I don't think he loved some of the play calls, but like, I don't know, like with LaFleur, I feel like his attitude is up. He's up. I think that, I know that that's a big criticism on him. People think that he just gives up, but like even that, the Vikings game, like at the end, I feel like they were fighting. A lot of people said that they gave up, but I don't know. I feel like he's fighting, but it's tough. Cause like with Rodgers throughout his career, he hasn't had a defense. So
right.
I feel like he goes all the way down there. Not this year, but like, whatever, 3 years ago, even this year, the defense, the Russian defense isn't there, but I'm just saying, he'd go all the way down there, like that Cardinals game, that playoff game way back when, and then the defense just gives up a big touchdown. So I think some of those teams, maybe he doesn't trust the defense. I don't know. I am a little bit biased as a Packer fan, that I will say, but I don't see it as much as like Rodgers giving up. But yeah, there's definitely, I get what people are saying about like sometimes like his attitude or whatever. But I feel like certain quarterbacks get viewed differently. Like Brady goes on a sideline, which I like Brady, but
Yeah.
sometimes he goes on a sideline, smashes his helmet, throws stuff around. If Rodgers did that, I feel like he would get slaughtered by a lot of media and the fans.
Yeah, because I don't think we're used to him doing that. It's kind of acceptable
Yeah.
for certain players to do that because that's what we've come accustomed to. Guys like Odell Beckham, guys like that are kind of a bit of a drama queen on the sideline. I'm not saying Tom Brady's a drama queen, but we know how tough his work ethic is, and we've seen that type of behavior. So it's literally not a surprise. But I mean, what happened to the defense when they were playing the Vikings? I know Cook is good. I'm not a Cook fan, and it's because of fantasy, because he screwed fantasy teams 3 years in a row, constantly getting hurt. And I don't think he finishes the season out. But that game, I think a couple weeks ago, when Cook ran for like 4 touchdowns, or there was like 3 rushing touchdowns and a receiving, it's like, why doesn't the defense see it? The defense better than me. Like, it's one player. Like, okay, it's gonna go to Cook. Like, why can't we just stop the run? What is the issue with the Packers defenses here, particularly in stopping Dalvin Cook that game?
Yeah, like the Packers defense, the rush defense this year, like has me like really confused. Like I don't get, like, especially that Vikings game. There's one player on that field that was at all a threat. Like no one's worried about what Kirk Cousins is going to do. No one, there's not really I
Right.
mean, there's some guys, but like Cook is the only guy that you have to worry about. And they couldn't stop him. I don't know if it's bad leverage. I don't know if it's bad scheme. Like that's like the whole trivia question for Packers fans. Like why is this, like, I'm not the smartest guy, like football guy, like scheme. Like, I don't know. A lot of Packer fans want Patton fired. A lot of guys like are blaming players. Like, I don't know really what the problem is, but if they don't get it fixed, it's not gonna be beneficial when you start playing playoff games against these teams that can just pound it.
Yeah, it looked terrible, man. Just focus on the one guy. I mean, 1 touchdown, okay. 2 touchdowns. All right, now we got to start focusing on this guy. 3 touchdowns, but 4? I mean, it was just insane. I mean, I would have been pulling my hair out if I was a Packers Pat fan for that particular game. It was absolutely terrible. So yeah, I mean, this year's been crazy with injuries. One more thing with the Packers I want to talk about here is I don't think you have a good wide receiver too. I don't think guys like Scanling, all those guys, they're just not guys that get it done. When's Lazard coming back? And do you agree that Lazard is needed as a wide receiver too there?
Yeah, Lazard is definitely needed. And I heard he's practicing, so I'm hopeful. The Packers are pretty quiet. Like LaFleur is kind of like Belichick in a way where he doesn't give any info that he doesn't have to give. And but I seen that he's practicing and he's been practicing. So with this mini bye kind of, because they play Thursday night, I'm
Right.
hoping that he comes back next Sunday. But yeah, the Packers are really careful about keeping guys out almost longer than they need to be. But yeah, they definitely need they definitely need him back.
Do you play fantasy football at all?
I used to. I actually took the last couple of years off, but next year I'm definitely going to get back into it because me and my brother-in-law are working on some stuff. So
It's so funny when people take years off. Is it that stressful to you? What caused you to take a year off of fantasy football?
well, I played it for a long time, and then like the people at work who I played it with, there were drama queens about it. There's always some argument, and it was always like, the commissioner did this and he okayed that, and they were always arguing. So I was just like, whatever. And I was going to do my own thing, like NFL.com or wherever. And then I was like, well, if you're not playing with friends, like it's that's the good part of it, is just trashing everybody.
Right. So you get DM'd a lot, right? I want to switch tangent here over to DMs. Do you get DM'd a lot, and what type of DMs do you see? Because I was talking to Annie, I think the other day, and she was telling me she gets DM'd a lot. And I kind of brushed upon it. Now I get DM'd a lot about fantasy. Who do I start? Who do I we're talking fantasy, so it got me thinking about this. So what kind of DMs do you see? And is there insults about the eye in the DM, or is it just strictly hey man, like Packer talk, or is it just hater Bears fans? What type of stuff do you see in your DM?
It's basically all the above. It's I get a lot of, even some people ask me about fantasy. They'll ask me about the Packer players, like should I start this player or that player? I get if I make a video trashing the Bears or trashing the Vikings or trashing whoever, then I might get some DMs. People like just let me have it, like you were wrong, or like they'll like DM me an old video, because I don't delete any video. So if I say something and I'm wrong, I'll own it. So they'll DM me like some 5-week-old video I did, and like, you were wrong, you're a piece of this and that. And but yeah, a lot of it is just who should I start. Even though I don't talk fantasy, people, I know about the Packers, so even if they're not a Packer fan, they'll ask me. a lot of insults. A lot of people asking me for a free hat because I sell hats.
Hindsight's always
Nothing
2020
crazy.
though. Like, sorry to interrupt, but like hindsight's always 2020. I don't want to forget this thought. When you said they come back and say, "Oh, you said this, you said that," I get that all the time, and they're like, "Oh, this didn't age well." I'm like,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
but the funny thing is, I was right about 90% of the other stuff, and then you're pinpointing the one or two things I got wrong. Do you notice that too? You're right and accurate. You can call a win. You could predict the score. If you went right now and predicted the next, set of wins, Packers are going to win the next 4 straight. They're going to win by 3 or more points in each of these games. It's going to be won by XYZ, and you nail every single one, but you get one thing wrong, and they're going to focus on that one thing wrong. Do you find that as well?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like first game of the season, the Packers played the Vikings, and the Viking fans were real loud. They were like telling me, "Oh, Vikings are gonna destroy it. They're gonna run the division. They're gonna do all this." And I said the Packers would win by 30, I think.
Mhm.
And they ended up putting up 40. I forget the exact score, but like I was right. And then I think it was the Tampa Bay game when I said the Packers are gonna win. And I think I said it was going to be close. I forgot exactly what I said, but then they're all coming at me. Oh, this didn't age well. I get this didn't age well on so many of my posts that like it's hilarious because anybody like I was even talking to a Bears fan. I was going back and forth, and I forget what game it was. He said, "I'm going to wait till after this game to say something." I'm like, "Why wait?" He goes, "I just want to make sure I'm right." I'm like, "Then what's the point of saying it?" Like, dude, I'll say stuff. If I'm wrong, you can come in my comments and tell me I'm a
Right.
idiot or whatever. Like, I'm not going to delete it and be all scared. They're just words. This is what we're doing, but it's trash talk.
It's so funny, eh? Like everybody's a keyboard warrior, and the
Yeah.
amount of haters that are out there, and like I said, I think they are the noisiest ones. And again, I'm very open, but I just think that society. I was talking about this to the other guests. Like I find society and media and just everybody just being really soft these days. It's like like I said, what I call snowflakes. Like I just say players suck. If they have a bad performance, particularly in fantasy, I say they suck. Yet so many people, including players, get really, really offended when I say that. And, I look at it as like, hey, you're responding back. So I win anyway. And I'm sure you get that too. The fact that they're even commenting and hating shows that you're actually doing something right. So I like it. I think it fuels my fire. I find it entertaining. I mean, mind you, the first year I actually would kind of get not upset, but I'd be like, oh, screw you too. I kind of get a little defensive, but now I'm just kind of like, I actually find it kind of entertaining. Do you find it like, how do you feel about it?
Yeah. I like just today, because I get this a lot because I'm verified on Instagram and Facebook.
How
So
are you
every now and
verified? How are you verified?
yeah,
Eh?
I got that today because I comment on like ESPN posts and it'll say something about the Packers, and I just troll. I just say something that I know because I
Yeah.
know most of that audience aren't Packer fans, so it's people that don't know who I am. So I'll just say something. Aaron Rodgers a goat, whatever,
Yeah.
and they'll just go nuts. And some guys like, "How are you verified? Nobody knows who you are, this and that." And so I responded, and he was like, "No, I wasn't. I didn't mean it like that." He's like, I'm sure a lot of people know you." And then he like switched up because like I responded. I was like, "No, dude, if you want to tell me I suck, it's fine. Tell me I suck." But yeah, but dude, that's what the internet is. Like people hate, and a lot of time when they hate, if you respond and they're like a
Yeah.
little bit nice, they back up. I just test it out. I'm like, "All right, have a good day." Like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that." And it's like,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, yeah, because they don't really know you. And like I said, I was telling another story, and it's like I met people in real life, sometimes people in my industry, after they hated on me on Twitter. That's a totally nice people, like and nicer people in person, but online it's so much easier to write something negative towards somebody, right?
oh, it is like people like, dude, like just keyboard warriors. I think it's some people are just trolling. It's entertaining, but like if you're gonna do that and they respond, keep the same energy. Like don't like switch and be like, "Oh no, I'm sorry." Like because I don't come at people. Like if someone says I'm an idiot or I'm cross-eyed or this or that, like I don't come at them like, "Oh you." I just kind of like say something nice or just joke around with them or like it's not that serious. Like that's my point of leaving those comments is to get people to come at me. So like when they do, I feel like I won.
Yeah, I was thinking you do like a bunch of different faces too, right? Like you could I'm going off on a tangent. I'm thinking about what your next plan is moving, 3 to 5 years down the road. I had a couple ideas moving forward for you. Because I'm thinking about these haters. The bigger you get, the better it is for you. And then the more they're gonna hate, the haters are gonna hate you more and they're more jealous. And I just like to be more successful. So I was just thinking of an idea here for you. Why don't you do like I saw a couple photos where you do like a cross-eyed thing, right?
Yeah, I can like I don't know if you can see, but I can make my eye like I can make one go down. I can make him do silly things. I can
I
make
can't do
him.
that. I want to be, I can't do that. But you should do like photos of that and like tag players and stuff. Now, has any of the players like Aaron Rodgers, any of these guys come up to you? Like, have they I mean, guys like that big, they don't really tend to comment. I find the youngest guy I do. I've had Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray respond back. He actually ended up blocking me because he was prioritizing reality football over fantasy. And I like fantasy, obviously. I've had a lot of players, but a guy like Aaron Rodgers, Brady, they're harder to get a hold of. They haven't responded to you, have they ever?
Well, I have like some players follow me. Like Preston Smith follows me. I actually went bowling with him. Uh, Haha Clinton Dix came to my house. We did a podcast together.
Really? That's
I
cool.
I used to make videos. Like one day, Haha Clinton Dix, he made a shoe phone video where he had a cleat and he was joking around like he was talking to someone on his DM or
Yeah.
on his Instagram story. So I cut it, made a video, and like I was talking to him, and I had a cleat phone. So then he reposted it, and then we started talking. And then every now and again, he would just send me little videos of him talking to his cleat phone, and I would try to make it funny. So we did that for a while, and we got to know each other a little bit. And then they traded him, and that really screwed me up. But yeah, like there's a lot of like Aaron Jones follows me, Jamal Williams follows me. A lot of the players follow me. They don't all talk to me. Like
Yeah.
Preston Smith, I talked to him a little bit. We went bowling together. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers has never commented on anything. I always wonder like if he's seen any of my stuff. But I actually met him. I was at a charity softball game for the Packers. I was like the celebrity umpire, they called it.
Right.
Uh, I screwed up bad,
What
and I
happened?
screwed up Aaron. I wasn't really paying attention because I was watching all these players. Because I was like, wow, this is crazy. I felt like I wasn't supposed to be there. Like there was, all the like Zadarius Smith who they just signed is in front of me. He's just like a huge man, and it was someone slid into second base, and I was like blacked out. Like I was just like out of my mind, and I missed the call. And they're like, "What's the call? What's the call?" And I was thinking in my head like, "Yo, I got a 50-50 shot of being right here." And I was wrong, and Aaron Rodgers giving me the business, but they did it jokingly. It was for charity.
Yeah.
And yeah, Devontae Adams. And actually, Devontae Adams messaged me later on Instagram and said that was all in fun, but I felt horrible, like totally screwed up the game. And they were laughing at me, like they didn't take it serious. A lot of them were laughing because I was shook. I was just sitting there like, oh my god, my life's over. But it was fun. It was a really crazy experience. But yeah, I've got to do a lot of from doing this social media stuff, the amount of players I've got to talk to, even on Instagram or meet in real life, is just it's insane.
I met the running back committee there. I met Williams and Aaron Jones in elevator. I was I'll tell you, share the story. I was in a fantasy football convention and it was in Dallas, I think. And then all these athletes came out to there and obviously do signings at this big event. And we're all staying at the same hotel. So I come out of my room to go to the lobby and they're there waiting for that same elevator, but I didn't know who they were. Cause again, like, some faces you don't really know, especially this was years ago. I think it was like their rookie year or their second year. And you don't really see some of these guys unless they're like big names like Odell and you see more of their face on mainstream media. So they're always under a helmet, right? You don't really see them. But I could tell these guys were athletes and I'm like, okay, who do you guys play for? What team? Is like Aaron Jones and Williams. And they're really nice guys. I don't know if you met Aaron Jones, but he's a super nice guy. Like he called me sir and everything. Like he's super respectful.
Yeah, he's like known as like one of the nicest people in the world. Like there was someone, he was in the airport, I think in Green Bay, coming home or leaving, and there was a pregnant lady pulling her luggage, and he got her luggage and walked her to her wherever she was going. So like there's like stories like that. Aaron Jones, just how nice he is. And yeah, he calls everyone sir and ma'am. He's just the most respectful guy, and that's like what he's known for. Is just, and then Jamal Williams is just hilarious. Like you probably don't see it as much, but like their little interviews, like he's just so funny. Like anyone who's listening or watching or whatever, you go any interview that Jamal Williams does, he's always laughing. He was on NFL Network, Good Morning Football, whatever, recently, and people loved it. But he's always dancing pregame. That's what he's known for. Like those guys together, they're just like best friends. They talk about it, how they came up together, and they're like they know each other's families. They're just so close, and yeah, they're good dudes.
Has AJ Dillon ruffled any feathers there and part of a committee? Has he tried to like get in, not ruffled feathers like in a personal level, but more in regards to a committee and a fear of him taking the job? I like a couple runs that I've seen with him. I didn't see anything outstanding. What are some expectations out of him? Is he Aaron Jones' replacement, or is he going to be a guy that's always going to be a third stringer there.
The Packers say that they're working on something with Aaron Jones. I don't know the details, like what they are, obviously, but I think it's going to be tough to have Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, and AJ Dillon there after this year. You would think, because Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams are both free agents at the end of the year,
Right.
and I don't know what kind of money Jamal Williams will gather. Like I think he's doing good, but like I don't know how teams view him. Like, is he going to be a starter? But I like him, so like, I'm biased as hell with that. But yeah, AJ Dillon, like as fans, like a lot of fans who I follow on Twitter and all these people talking, and nobody wants AJ Dillon to overtake them now. Like there's no hate on AJ Dillon. Like he's young, see what he can do. But like the love for Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams in Green Bay is real. But I don't think that like I like AJ Dillon. We'll see what he can do. But like this year, like I don't think that nobody wants him stealing reps from those two.
But I find that Jones hasn't finished the season. He just always gets banged up one way or another. It's crazy. So that's a problem to me. If I'm an owner, would it not be a problem for you?
Yeah, like you want guys who are that play that are on the field for the full season. That's where it comes into. And running backs, they get paid so much, but like there's always guys. I don't know. A lot of guys don't want to pay running backs, and I get that because there's guys coming up. I wouldn't say they're a dime a dozen, but like the great ones are great. But like, I don't know. You pay a running back, like they're already paying Aaron Rodgers. Devontae Adams is going to want to get paid. There's a lot of David Bakhtiari. There's a lot of guys in Green Bay that got to get paid. So they have a lot of decisions to make.
All right, let's talk about the GOAT talk at wide receiver this year. I mean, Devontae Adams, was it Devontae Adams that came out and said he's the best wide receiver? Am I wrong, or did something come out like that?
Well, he was asked, I believe.
Okay.
Do you think you're the best wide receiver in the league? Because I know a lot of people were saying like he's arrogant and this and that. I was like, well, they ask you, and most wide receivers are going to say that. And I love Devontae Adams. Like I think that there's like however many guys you put on top, and they're all interchangeable. But yeah, he did say that when he was asked, like, yeah, I think I'm the best.
I hate when people ask that. Are you the best wide receiver? No, I'm not. I'm not the best wide. Like, what are you expecting him to say? He's obviously going to say yes. Now, if he says no, I mean, that's just like, do you not believe in yourself? Right. Like, I mean, if you ask a third stringer on, let's say, the Cleveland Browns or the Jacksonville Jaguars, you're like, hey, are you the best wide receiver? Like, I don't think anybody asked those people that question, mind you, but I guess they asked the people that they think could be the best wide receiver. But like, you're not going to get, I don't think anyone's going to say, no, I'm not the best. I think that 5 other people are better than me. I lack confidence. Like, I think it's kind of a stupid question.
Yeah, I agree. Like they always ask, like wide receivers, like I think no matter who you ask, they're gonna say, yeah, I'm the best. If you're a number 1 wide receiver in the league and you're considered top 5, top 10, obviously they didn't get that far by doubting themselves. They believe that they are. And Devontae Adams has every right to believe that. I don't think it's like I don't know. I'm not saying that he is. Like it's a very, very small group of guys who are you could say is the best.
Right.
And they're all going to say that they're the best. Like you're saying, any number 1 wide receiver in the league, I bet you would ask, he would say, yeah, I'm the best.
Yeah, I mean, the debate is Julio, Hopkins, Adams. I mean, Antonio Brown coming back. I don't know if that chemistry is going to be there. And I don't think the volume is going to be there for Antonio Brown, especially with Godwin and Evans there and Gronkowski. You're just not going to see the 168 targets that you saw with Big Ben in a year. It's not going to be there. So I think it's got to be a toss up between those 3. You could make an argument with Tyreek Hill, but again, he is kind of hit and miss. There's a lot of targets there as well with the Chiefs, including Kelsey and Hardman and all those guys out there. So, I mean, do you agree that that's probably the 4 right now? Am I missing somebody that could be the greatest right now?
I know a lot of people talk about Michael Thomas, but he's been hurt.
Sorry, how did I forget Thomas? He's been injured. So that's my fantasy mind. Yes. He's been banged up. How did I forget him? Yeah, you could make an argument with him as well. So yeah, I mean, it's those 5 right now, honestly.
See, my thing, like with like defending Devontae Adams, is like a lot of people say like he's the only guy, so like you should be able to double him and take him out, but they still can't. So I mean, the Packers did do well when he's gone. They figured it out. They wouldn't without Lazard though. He was out those games, but they had Lazard. And I think LaFleur is good at scheming to get guys open, but Devontae Adams should be your number 1 focus point on the offense as far as passing goes, and he still puts up those numbers.
So what is your prediction now with the Packers? How do you think they finish this year? What's the road to them? Are they the real deal? Because I think they're true contenders. There's other teams that are obviously contenders, including the Steelers, including the Chiefs. Buccaneers were up there in my power rankings after that game with the Saints. Having my doubts, man. I'm really having my doubts. I don't think the Packers are pretenders, but can you lay out the projection for the season, how they finish? Is there an actual Super Bowl? Anything can happen, right? Any team can make it, but except for like the Jets. The Jets are screwed. Aside from them, there's a lot of people that have a chance. There's some dark horses here. Can you project out what's going to happen with the Packers moving on for 2020 here?
I think it all depends on stopping the run. Like they could get all the way to the playoffs because I always tell people just like I forget I forget what coach you said. Marvin Lewis, was it? He used to say just get to the playoffs. So if the Packers get to the playoffs, they get hot. But that most teams that go to the Super Bowl from the NFC lately, it seems even when the Packers in 2010, they just got hot at the right time. So if they can get hot, and I think that they can beat any team in the NFC. I'm not saying they will, but I think that they can if they're stopping a run, because that's my biggest concern. They get to the playoffs and they play a team that's what teams are going to do to the Packers offensively. They're just going to run the ball. They might not throw the ball. So until they prove that they can stop the run,
right?
Yeah, I'm hopeful they're going to win the division. I think they're going to come in either 1 or 2 in the NFC. It depends because I think there's 3 teams tied, and the Packers are losing all the numbers.
Yeah.
So they beat the Saints, lost to the Buccaneers. That's what's just really confusing because that's like a triangle there that they beat up. I wouldn't say beat up, but they beat the Saints, lost horrible to the Buccaneers. Saints beat the Buccaneers bad. It's like, how do you figure that out?
I know. It's messed up, especially if you bet like that. That's where it gets frustrating. Like, okay, I'm going to place a bet now. Now this team is playing this team, but this team lost to that team last week. They should theoretically beat this team. And that's where it's like, oh my God. And then you get screwed because the team that you projected based on what you've seen is supposed to win, doesn't win. Hopefully you followed me on that. I know it's kind of,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you're supposed to win. You beat that team. You should beat this team, right? It just logically makes sense. Then you get screwed, similar to Aaron Rodgers screwing me in my point spread, 4 or 5 years ago, whenever that year was, where he didn't look like he was trying. So yeah, that's a challenge. I've kind of gotten away from sports betting. I play more DFS now. That's a challenge. Did you ever play DFS?
No, I haven't. I was saying, I was talking to my brother-in-law about like he does all that stuff. I don't know exactly what he does, but he does a lot of stuff, and I want him to teach me because he's winning some money. So I was like, you need to teach me how this stuff goes, and then it's something to talk about on the podcast, and we're gonna do some stuff. But yeah, I definitely got a lot to learn with that.
Yeah, in sports betting or even in daily fantasy sports, you pick players, right? Like it's kind of like fantasy, but you play it daily, right? For people that don't know, you select these players, but sometimes it's literally like a coin toss. Like it's very hard to project certain players. Like I'll pick a lineup. Okay, I got my quarterback, I got my running back, I got my wide receiver. I got everybody goes off. Let's say you're in a guaranteed prize pool, which is like a pool of like 500,000 people all selecting certain players, right? So if I have a roster where all my players goes off, so let's say Aaron Jones has a 40-point game. I play Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback. He has a 30-point game. I have Robbie Anderson as my wide receiver. He has a 25-point game. My team is good. And then one wide receiver on my team doesn't do good. He puts up 2 points or 3 points. Then you have another guy who's playing against you in that same pool. He has the same roster as you, but he swapped out that one player, right? So that player that crapped the bed for me, let's say Tyreek Hill, he has Michael Thomas in that wide receiver slot. He has 3 more points than me. Then that kind of voids my team pretty much. I don't finish on top. It's so hard. It's so hard. You get all your players right, one player wrong, and you could lose. That's if you're in those big pools with a lot of people. Now, if you play in smaller pools, you have a better chance of winning. But that's tough. And then, like we said, betting is tough. Like if you said your brother-in-law is going to get you into it, it's so challenging because again, any given Sunday, this team upsets that team. And it's like, imagine if you had bet on, the Saints and the Bucks. I don't remember what the spread was, but I think the Bucks were, and I could be wrong this past week. I think the Bucks may have been a 4-point favorite, I believe. If that's the case, I mean, you would have lost big time. You could have bet, Buccaneers to win straight up, or you would have lost,
Yeah, I actually thought the Bucks were going to win. So if I was a betting person,
yeah.
I would have. I'm not sure how to bet on that game. That was a tough one. But if I was gonna, I would definitely have picked the Bucks to win. Well, even like Packers Vikings that the Packers just lost. Like, who would have thought that was gonna happen? Like,
No.
even if it's a rivalry, so I get people are gonna say, well, they're gonna play tighter, but
Yes.
nobody would think that what happened is gonna happen. So like, yeah, it's so wild. Like the NFL is wild.
It's wild. It is any given Sunday. It's momentum games, like swing games. If they have one game, are they gonna come bounce back? Are they playing strong? And I found somebody die, because sometimes I find that when somebody in a family member dies from a team, I find that they kind of play for that player or that player's family member, and like there's certain variables that are kind of unforeseen or seen prior to the game that infect the game, whether it be weather as well and stuff like that. But there's just so much to it. But one thing that it is weird with the odd makers, I don't think you know too much about sports betting, is how close they do actually get it for most of the time. Like if the over under is over 57 points, they get pretty close to that point. So like the odd makers, the bookies, they do a really good job overall predicting how close these games are going to be. I think it's remarkable.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I used to do these picks at work, and I was like known as the worst person like picking games
Yeah.
because I would like think about it hard, and everyone else would just be like, a lot of them were people who don't even watch football that much. I just like to gamble, and I would like look at like, yeah, I know these teams, and they would laugh at me because they know I do the football thing, and I would be like the worst picker, and I stopped doing that. I was like, this is getting embarrassing. No, but yeah, it's tough picking games, and like I'm not really great at it, but. It's the NFL. Like you never know.
Yeah. So what is the 3 to 5 year plan for Matt Ramage? Are you branching out to a national brand? Do you want to grow the brand bigger? Are you focusing more on football, Packers particularly? Are you going to be going to more games? Are you getting like, first of all, do you have season tickets at all? Do you go to games?
Well, I went to 4 last year. The Packers are 4-0 at
Okay.
Lambeau Field when I was there last year. This year, obviously, we can't go. That not going to games really is a damper. Not even just I like going to games, but it's like as a following. Like I go live. I talk to a lot of fans and Packer fans. Like
Yeah.
it's just so much fun. So it's a big damper for me, not just personal, but as I grow, because just being at Lambeau Field ups it so much.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not a season ticket holder though.
And like again, your look is distinguishable. People will know you and like, hey, there's Matt. So I say keep posting, keep grinding it out. You'll be seeing. So what is the plan? 3 to 5 years for you?
Well, I just started doing a live show. I just like I upgraded, got this microphone, I got a camera here. Probably not as good as the camera that you're working with, but I'm slowly trying to get up my stuff, trying to figure out this live show, trying to bring my brother-in-law into it. But like yeah, I want to do like a lot more podcasts, different themes, like kind of like what you're doing is like branch off a little bit, have one show that's focused on the gambling part. So people that like that. I want to start bringing in some rival, like bringing some Bear fans. Like I brought in a guy, I think it was a Viking fan who trolls me on Twitter all the time. So after the Vikings game, I had a few beers in me and he was trolling me. So I was like, well, if you want to talk, come on live and talk with me.
Right.
And then he's like, okay. And I was like, oh, I didn't expect him to say yeah, but it was fun. And so after that, I was like, oh, I think I should do it more often, bring in and kind of like debate and have fun. But I just want to keep going. Like I really don't have an actual plan. Like I need to get one, but like I just want to keep podcasts and think of different ideas. Creating more like on TikTok, I make jokes in my eyes. I'm on there, embarrassing my kids. But the same thing I was doing on Vine, I do on TikTok. So I'm trying to grow a gathering, following everywhere I am.
Yeah, I don't bring any people on live anymore on Instagram. People are very immature when they come on live. I had one guy, I don't know, he must have been, I don't know, young guy, 20s maybe, late teens, just immature, man. Just I put him on live. He requested to go on my live because I'm referencing your story here when someone he said, come on, let's talk about it. I just can't bring fans on. When I put him on live, he mooned the audience. So I'm just like, you know what? And then I immediately shut it down. It's just people are immature, and I'm trying to do a nice thing. I'm trying to interact with fans, bring them on, expose them on my audience. Hey man, who are you? And again, most people are good, but it's just the bad apples that kind of ruin it.
Yeah.
For everybody else.
Well, yeah. Well, that guy, I've known him for a while because he trolled me for a while. And then one day we ended up having a conversation. He's like, oh, I actually like you. I just like trolling you. I'm like, oh, all right, I respect that. And he makes like little GIFs of me, puts my head on different characters, smashing into walls and stuff. So like, yeah, I knew him. Like, I agree. You can't just bring on. I get people ask me, "Let me come on your live show," and eventually I want to start doing phone calls. I'm starting to get. I got a mixer now, so maybe bring some phone calls in. But yeah, putting someone on live, like you don't know what they're gonna say or what they're gonna do. Like people, like you say, they're immature, they're hammered, or they're just acting like an idiot.
I'm checking your Instagram. I like your logo too. Who did that logo? Is that a private company, or you could send me that information later? Or can you let people know? Because I really like your cartoon they did there.
Actually, my friend, I think, got that for me. He went to Fiverr, that
Oh,
app
okay.
that you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
have.
get that done there, eh?
Yeah, a friend of mine did it. Like I think it was like a birthday, and he's like, "Hey, here, happy birthday! I paid for this to get made for you," and it really turned out good. And I've been using that.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. Like it's professional, it's memorable. Yeah, it's Matt Ramage guys underscore on Instagram. Make sure you guys follow him there. And if you want to see his eye, I don't know, it's been a draw to a lot of your fans. Check my YouTube channel. I know a lot of people listen on audio, so make sure you guys go to my YouTube channel. I'm posting my videos right now on both my fantasy football counselor subscriber page on YouTube, but also my Joe Kamo show on YouTube. So make sure you guys go subscribe to the YouTube channel as well and follow Matt Ramage on Instagram. Now, do you have an actual podcast now going?
Yeah, I have a podcast that's called Ramblin' Matt Ramage. Mostly like I've had Tom Crabtree on. He's like the big one. He's a former Packer. He's like a beloved Packer fan or a Packer player, and he's not one of the superstars. He's a tight end. But he won a Super Bowl. But anyways, with him and I go on together, people just love it. But yeah, I'm working on some new stuff. But yeah, Ramblin' Matt Ramage podcast is where you can find all my Packer stuff.
You could do a lot with that name Ramage. Ramage is going to do some damage, or Savage no, that doesn't rhyme. But yeah, you can do a lot of stuff with it. I mean, you could do like damaged goods, and you can make fun of the teams that lose the Packers, Ramage, damaged goods. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm always thinking from a marketing standpoint, but I think you got a good foundation to continue to build on for sure. But again, I think you should somehow, without losing your existing audience, branch out with your brand and do some other cool stuff with other teams. Because again, a lot of people may not follow you because they think that you're just a Packers guy. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. Like you have to. I was talking to people about this, about slowly start doing segments. Okay, let's talk. We're gonna talk about the Packers, but now let's talk about the NFC East. Maybe not them, because that'd be boring. But you're bringing another division, kind of talk about them and try to like, slowly expand. I think most people, even Packer fans, like if I listen to a Packer podcast and they start talking about the Cowboys or the Patriots or whoever, I'm not bored. Like if it's good, like you're talking, I love football. I love all of it. So like I agree. But yeah, I think what I got is I didn't really know. Like I was just screwing around and got a decent following. So like I'm just trying to figure out like how to take that to the next level and keep it moving.
Yeah, you just got to hone in, man. You got to focus. And again, if you're just dabbling and you got that, that's pretty good. Now imagine if you focus, right?
Yeah.
And I noticed you told me you got the new mic, which is a nice mic there. Yeah, you just got to keep adding to your arsenal. But I found I jumped to this mic, about a year after I was using the Blue Yeti, jumped to this mic, haven't looked back. It's an excellent mic, the Shure SM7B mic. It's great. It omits any surrounding sound. It sounds great, man. I think you sound pretty good. We'll have to listen to this after for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah, the mic before this was trash. Like it was like one of those $45 mics you buy on Amazon. So like when I upgraded, it took me like a long time to figure out how to use it. Yeah, I got the mixer. I'm not a real technical guy, so I was watching YouTube for like 2 weeks trying to figure out how to get it going, but I finally got it.
All right. Well, Matt, I appreciate you being on, man. Matt Ramage, guys. Make sure you guys follow him on Instagram. He's available everywhere. And where's your podcast available? On iTunes, Spotify, everywhere?
Yeah, iTunes, Spotify. I'm on Facebook too. I got a decent following there. And yeah, there it is. Ramblin' Matt Ramage.
All right, man. I'll leave some links here below on the YouTube channel, guys. Thanks, Matt. We appreciate you being on, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, guys. Make sure you subscribe, and we are out, guys. Appreciate you.